Hello, everybody, and welcome to round 6, the penultimate round of the Novice Racing League GT3 Championship. We're here at the Hockenheim ring for, as I say, the last race but one of our championship. Two 15-minute races coming up, as always, in this 20-minute races, rather, coming up, as always, here this afternoon. Myself, Ewan Leary, and James Parfitt taking you through the action, as always. Tommy Patero is back. We've got two classes where the championship is still very much on the line, but technically could be settled here this afternoon, and we've got a very good race ahead of us. 4 points only between Matt Warner and George Metakos at the moment, with Tommy Patero back again this week, only 8 points behind, despite missing last week's race. It is Ian Knox next involved, although he is the last driver mathematically who can still win this championship, I think. Maybe that's not quite true. Jan Jacek and Andrew Pratt might have a chance, but realistically, it's about the top three. The others further behind. From Ben Mitchell downwards, haven't been here particularly regularly so far this season. In the second group, Hayden Britton is currently leading the way because Jerry Werner wasn't here recently, and so 15 points now the advantage. Nicholas Green is in third place with 13 points over Parker Enquist. It's Tim Wybrow who's running out the top five. Stephen Laird next, Luke Edwards, then Rhys Bartlett and Eric Orchin, with Steve Whitman and Garrett Kinney not having been at very many rounds so far this season either. Two championships very much on the line here, but if either of those championships are being led by more than 30 points at the end of tonight, then they've won the title with a round to go. So there's big pressure on everybody tonight.
Yeah, there absolutely is, and welcome in everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm looking forward to this. I don't mind the Hockenheim ring. It's not, it's not up there on my list of favourites, but it's not down there at the bottom of some of the others. So I don't mind it. I think this is going to be an interesting one. I'll be very, very interested to see how the likes of Matt Warner gets on, and Hayden Britton, and whether or not George Metakos or Tommy Patero are going to get close to him as well. The point system, I don't know if it's going to allow anybody to wrap it up here, because even 30 points for Matt Warner, say 24 for George Metakos, still sort of brings him within range of the leader coming into the final round. So will it be done? Not 100% sure, but we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see. I mean, it is true, though, that in any penultimate race of any championship, unless there's more points available in the last round than the penultimate one, it's possible to wrap up the title, but as you say, it is unlikely. I think it's probably more likely in Class 2, maybe. Hayden Britton currently leading by 15 points, but even in that situation, it's probably difficult, especially considering I can't actually see Hayden Britton here. No. So that is going to make things the most difficult of all. Jerry Werner, in that case, has got a big chance to gain points. I hadn't seen anything that suggested that he wasn't going to be here, Hayden Britton, but it looks like he is away, unfortunately. So Stephen Laird also messaged about half an hour ago to say he wasn't here either. So certainly the second class championship is not going to be wrapped up this time round. But let's see about the first group as we race here this afternoon. We'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look at the starting grid then. Nice healthy grid for us here at the Hockenheim ring. And it's Tommy Patero who's back to the front of it with Matt Warner alongside him in second. Ian Knox is in third at Jan Jacek with Ben Mitchell and Andrew Pratt sharing row 3. Nick Green is on pole in the second group with Alistair Clark alongside Jerry Werner and Peter Ferrero round out the top 10 with Garrett Kinney and Eric Orchin on row 6. Then it's Parker Enquist and Rhys Bartlett with Steve Whitman and Tim Wybrow rounding out the field. That is it for the 16 drivers. 8 in each class, so everybody is going to score points, but you're going to want to be as far up the field as possible in this race here today, of course. So let's see how it goes. But a nice grid, I've got to say. 16 in the field, and series hasn't tailed off at all in terms of numbers, even though we're getting to the end of the season.
No, definitely not. I think that's going to be one of the, the great points of this league is the fact that we're still holding the numbers there. I've been told George Metakos is not here. Unfortunately, he's at home. He's got COVID with a high fever and is apparently watching on the live stream. So there you go. Hayden Britton, he's in Rome, apparently.
Okay.
So that's why he's not here.
Slightly random, but
well,
but fair enough.
Clearly,
it's summer, isn't it? Summer holidays time, I guess. But half term, I learned.
Yes, it's been half term. Yes, Mr. O'Leary.
So there you go. See, I'm not in school anymore. I don't know these things.
Well, at least you remembered the fact it was half term. You know what I mean? Your memory's working, so that's good.
Yep. He's in Rome, but he did take about 1 minute to reply to your message. So I don't know what he's doing, but he's not enjoying Rome that much because he's replying to your messages.
Well, he did. I did just ask him if he didn't take the rig, but apparently he didn't. There you go.
No, he's just laughed. So,
yes, yeah, but
so, as if to say, of course I'm not taking the rig. What are you talking about?
So to be fair, I wouldn't either, to be blatantly honest. You go to somewhere like Rome, you don't want to sit back to the wife and family and go, so I just need Sunday morning. Just give me Sunday morning for an hour. All right?
It's only an hour.
Yeah, I've taken the fold-up rig as well, so it'll be all right. Don't worry. I paid for the extra baggage handling because it's going to cost me a fortune to get it all out there. But it'll be all right. It's only for an hour. There we go. To be fair. Well. Yeah, it definitely would not go down well, mate. If you tried with me having a holiday with my wife, it's impossible. Running this and then having a holiday, it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. Thankfully, he's not brought on that conflict, and he's left his simmering at home. So, yeah, it's up to Jerry Verner to try and get a points lead here today. He's got 15 points to make up before he can even start increasing a lead. But if he can win the first race, then he can start to work on that a little bit in the second. We'll wait and see, though, what he does in Group 2. We'll wait and see, of course, what happens in Group 1 as well here. Really, it's going to come down between Warner and Patero now, with Metakos sadly missing here tonight. So it's about the front row. Oh, dear, and Tony Patero not waiting around at all. Is he gone immediately, even before the final corner? And he's actually taken the racing line through there to get a real big lead in towards turn number 1. Here comes Ian Knox. Oh, he had a look down the inside there, but he didn't quite go for it on Matt Warner. Then it's Jan Jančić, who's back again after not being with us last week. He won at Okayama in the second race, but he's currently running in 4th place this one, side by side for Pratt and Green. Nick Green's made a very good start overall, by the way. Still leads. No, he doesn't anymore. He leads in the second class only briefly until he spins out of turn number 2 and into the wall.
Oh, man. Right at the moment, you said he got a good start, Mr. O'Leary. I'm blaming you. Yeah, there we go. Just putting that one out there as well. I had a chance to catch up with Matt Warner on the podcast I do of on the virtual track on Spotify, if you want to go and find out as well. One of Matt Warner's goals, would you believe? He's being as fast, if not faster, than Tommy Patero. So Matt, at the moment, that's what he's working towards, to try and keep up and be as fast as Tommy Patero.
And down the inside, needs to get into second place first, but Ian Knox has taken that away from him in the chicane. He's trying to take that back again on the way towards turn 7, turn 8, and then into the final sector here as well. Side by side, Warner on the outside line. He's going to rip round here and get the inside at the next part, so that will be second place for Matt Warner. Or will it? Ian Knox still on the outside line, and no, he cannot get past on this occasion. Jan Jančić manages to find his way on the outside, not quite. That is going to put off Ian Knox though, his line a little bit wrong, and Jančić can't capitalise on it. So Warner gets up into second, then Knox in third, then Jančić fourth, and then Ben Mitchell, who rounds out the top 5, but they've all lost ground to Tony Patero. He leads by some distance already. Yeah,
there's been some drama further down for Alistair Clark. I'm not quite sure if he's just overcooked the Spitzker hairpin here, or if there was contact. Oh no, he's just gone and overcooked it, I think, and then they've sort of scrambled through together. So Peter Ferrero has been off track, unfortunately for Peter. He's lost a couple of places. In fact, he lost 4 places here, and that's going to come and spin off the curb, absolutely, and then gets a helping hand on the way through. So from Peter Ferrero, unfortunately, he's dropped down the order, but the guys up front, second, third and fourth, all close together. As I say, Matt Warner, Knox and Jan Jančić fighting out. There's another little pack of battles in Class 2. Garrett Kinney, Parker Enquist and Reece Bartlett. Parker's got a new livery this week because, as we know, I've called him Peter over the last few couple of weeks as well, and he's got to put a Peter Parker Spider-Man livery on his car with a derpy Spider-Man, apparently. I'm not quite sure what derpy means, but he looks like that. So there we go.
Oh no! Oh wow, that's a big late braking move there, and I don't think it was on purpose either. That was careering down the inside from Parker Enquist, and Kinney is going to get that place back again. Bartlett will get a place in return. Wybrow very nearly lost it as he tried to work his way past as well. That was a bit lucky that it wasn't more of an accident than it ended up being there, because Marco Enquist was firing down the inside at that big braking zone down at turn 8 that time.
Yeah, and I do wonder whether or not he lost where it was, because, as you say, I don't think it was expected there either. So, unfortunately for him, he basically, he let the cars go back through, so that was always nice of him. But yeah, completely missed his braking point on that one. Nick Green and Steve Whitman. Nick trying to come back through the field as well. Luke, unfortunately I'm at work, so not racing. I'll admit that's still better than having COVID. Apparently so. I didn't even know it was still a thing.
I'd imagine so. It's like having a cold, I suppose. You can catch that any time.
I thought it was just called man flu nowadays, but never mind.
Yeah, well, there we go. Unfortunately, not well enough to race George Metcalf. Hopefully he'll be feeling better soon, and maybe we'll see him for a run out in the last race of the season in 7 days' time. This is Matt Warner in second, ahead of Ian Knox again. But look at that gap to Tommy Patero. 2.5 seconds is the gap. It is a real difficult one to try and bring back already here. You know, we've only been racing less than 5 minutes here, but it was clear after lap 1, to be honest, that Tommy Patero was going to be away and was favourite to win this race even after lap 1.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Mustang is quite doing as well as he is with Patero, but I do wonder whether or not that's the driver more than the car, to be honest. You could say the Mustang can do well here because there isn't a lot of tight, twisty corners as such. You got some long, open, flowing corners, you know, down the Parabolica. Spitzkare is probably the only major point where there is kind of a stop of maybe Mercedes, but other than that, I think this track might suit the Mustang, to be fair. But what Matt Warner's got to do now, he's got to try and get sliding like that is not going to help. He's got to try and get away from Ian Knox because he wants to be trying to go forward rather than going backwards.
Absolutely. Let's see if he can here as they come down in towards turn number 2 now. It's down at the hairpin where you get the best opportunity around the Hockenheim ring circuit. Let's see if Ian Knox has got the good enough run here in the Lamborghini. As he crouches in and crouches behind that very large Ford Mustang just up in front of him here. The car that he has driven at times this season, Ian Knox, has taken victories in it as well at Okayama, to name one of them. In towards the hairpin, and Matt Warner keeps second place. So we've reached a bit of a stalemate. This is what happens at the Hockenheim ring, really. Good run out of the hairpin, though. Ian Knox might well be able to find his way down the inside turn 8, maybe, with a little bit more control than what Parker Enquist was able to do earlier on. Not quite on this occasion. And so Matt Warner keeps second place again, and they see the gap extend to Toyo Patero. It really is a race for second between these guys now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to do, if Patero wins this one and Warner stays where we are, we're on 109 and 114 going into race number 2 in favour of Matt Warner. If Patero takes the win in race number 2 and Warner finishes second again, Warner's going to have a 2-point lead going into the final round. So it'll be 124 to Patero, 126 to Warner going into the final round. So that battle is not the end of the world for Matt Warner, but he does need to finish within a place of Tommy Patero in this one and in race number 2 to keep that lead going into the final race.
But you've got to remember that obviously it's a full reverse grid for race number 2, and the likelihood of them finishing 1-2 again is quite low, I would say, especially when you consider that, you know, Peter Ferrero, Ben Mitchell, for example, already down towards the back end of the field. They're going to really benefit from the reverse grid race here, and they're going to, they'll be fighting for the race win, I would expect, in race 2. That complicates things really, because effectively for those top contenders in the championship, it effectively means that third place would be like a victory for them, 10 points. Mm-hmm. And so it complicates the picture a little bit. But if Patero, the point stands, I guess, that if Patero beats Warner both times, then he'll be pretty close going into the final round. Yeah,
he definitely will be. Nick Green here is alongside the BMW of Tim Wybrow. They're going to be running side by side down into Spitzkare at the moment. Green in the Porsche, Wybrow in the cap liveried BMW. He's going to have that inside line at the moment is Wybrow. Is he going to be able to make it and hold it? He is. Is he going to be able to get the rotation and get that power down to be able to get out? He can. Wybrow manages to hold on there from the overtake. It's been Nick Green, Tim Wybrow. So there's been 2 overtakes between these guys already as they're continuing to fight out further down. But you are right. I think it's just got to be Warner's got to stay as close to Patero as possible. And yes, race 2 is a little bit of a lottery with the full reverse, but I'm still not putting it past Tommy Patero going to take the win in race number 2.
No. Certainly not. It would be silly to write him off, that's for sure, based on what we've seen so far this season. That looked like Parker Enquiries off into the gravel to me. He was changing positions with somebody anyway, so whether it was him off the road, I'm not sure, through the Sats curve that time round, but or the Melbourne one curve before the Sats curve, rather. Turn 11 before turn 12. That's wide though from Jim Wybrow, and there you go. Nick Green is going to be through here surely into 11th position. Wybrow doesn't want to re-enter the circuit like a maniac. Instead he does it nicely. Nick Green gets up into 11th position, 5th place in class 2 then for Nick Green, but a real shame when you consider where he started, but had that incident early on.
Yeah, he did, right at the moment that you said he was doing a good job.
I know.
Just pointing that out. All right.
He just had a good start. I didn't really give him, I didn't even say that much.
Well, no, you used the words of he's had a good start, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. So there we go. Warner and Knox still fighting out. Ferrero's had another incident, but so is Ben Mitchell. I do wonder whether or not they're just running deep into Spitz. Oh no, this is not even in Spitzke. This is in the stadium. Oh, he's going to hit a curb. What's the odds? Oh no, the Audi's just going to turn around. Is it the Audi? No, the Acura's just going to turn around and say no. All right. I looked quickly. Oh, there we go. Ben Mitchell also doing himself some drama.
Yeah, maybe doing the same thing actually.
Too much on the curb.
Oh no. Oh, twitch and save it, save it, save it. Goodness me. That didn't look like it was handling well at all, but he did just about save it in the end before finding the wall anyway, but unfortunately Ben Mitchell's a long way off the rest of the field and has been for a while.
Yeah, we've got Parker Enquiries and Reece Bartlett. The thing is, that curb there on the right-hand side they've just gone past can be very hit and miss on what you get. 1 minute you can make it through and everything's fine, and then the next minute you can touch it and your back end goes round. And I've done that in an SR10 on that curb, and literally it was not good. So it is a bit of a random curb, to be blatantly honest, and I think that these guys are going to have to pick and choose. Reece Bartlett there getting a little bit squirrely.
That was Reece Bartlett all over the place that time round, but he's got away with it. Goodness me, that was a really quite wild moment in towards turn 1. He's got a new livery on, by the way, Reece Bartlett, this week. A bit more orange and silver around. Beforehand, he just had basically a black car all over with the I don't know what that's called.
It's a New Zealand Leaf, isn't it? Is it the New Zealand? What's it called?
Got a better name for it than that.
All right.
New Zealand Leaf.
All right, I'm on it now. What's it actually?
New Zealand Leaf.
I am actually googling. It's called the Silver Fern, apparently.
Oh, there you go. See, there's always going to be a good name for it.
I prefer the New Zealand Leaf, to be honest with you, but there we go. It's called the Silver Fern, apparently, or there is a Latin name, but don't ask me to even try and pronounce it there as well. So he's got the Silver Fern down the side of his car, and it's Reece Bartlett. No, it looks good though. I quite like the livery. Shut up.
I quite like the livery as well, actually. Yeah, it's good. It's a good one. I just recognise it. It's just on all like the sports logos for New Zealand teams.
Yeah.
Whatever sport they're playing at the time. That's everywhere. So there you go. Now we know what it's called. At least he's been caught by Nick Green. The battle for 4th place in class. Fair play to Nick Green for continuing and getting the positions that he has done since his incident out of turn number 2, getting on the power a little bit wrong through that first lap of the race, and well, since then he's been driving well. Now he's on the back of Reece Bartlett. I don't know if he's going to have enough time actually to get back on the podium again here, Green, but he's certainly going to have enough time to give it a go, getting past Reece Bartlett, which I'd imagine he will do before the end of the race.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to get on with Parker just up the road there. The McLaren's got some gruff behind it. So Parker's just got to really keep it on the road here. Now, I would have a look. I keep having a look at this battle, but it really badly fluctuates 1 minute we're out at 6 to 7 tenths, then they've come down to like they are now about 3, and then it was 2 going into turn 8 there, into Mercedes. So it's been up and down and backwards and forwards, very, very close together. But you can now see Green, Bartlett and Enquist have also come back together. So, where do we go?
It's very, very puzzling, to be honest. I think it's kind of a characteristic of this circuit a little bit, though. You can get stuck very easily, I think, in one of these.
Oh no!
Matt Warner, big spin. Oh, and Jančić has to avoid as well. Now he needs to get across the road quickly here, and he does. Just off to the other side of the road. He needs to be careful of rejoining with Pratt coming up, and now Pratt goes through as well. Warner down to 5th position, and as things stand, he'd lose 9 points to Tommy Patero, who would take the championship lead if things stay as they are.
Yeah, he would be on 108 at the moment. Patero on 109 going into the final race if they stayed exactly where they are right now.
Wow. That would be terrible news for Matt Warner. I mean, we haven't seen him make very many mistakes like that this season, but that's a very, very costly one. But it's something we've seen a lot of. I'm not sure what it is about this penultimate corner, but the rear end just seems to get really loose through there, whatever car you're in. We've seen an Acura, a Lamborghini, and now a Mustang all have trouble through there.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, he gets it going again. Fine, that's fine. Ian Knox has apparently just had a moment at the same time, and Matt Warner looks like he's gone round. Yeah, Ian Knox has just gone. Eric Orchin's gone.
Yeah, had a power cut, he says.
Yeah. Eric Orchin has gone, and Ian Knox has gone. Green's jumped back to pit lane. What did he do here? Oh, that Porsche's loose.
Oh, Bartlett didn't see him. Oh, that's a big crash off of turn 1. Bartlett didn't see him coming up on the outside. He was so concentrated on getting that car back on the straight and narrow again that he just completely didn't see Nick Green, and he's smashed him into the wall there. Nick Green is down to the back, and there's that Andrew Pratt still off the road. Matt Warner gains 2 places again in a lap, one because of a disconnect and one because of a gravel moment. And Matt Warner's back into the virtual championship lead.
Yeah, 112 to 109 still with Patero. Patero's maximum is 109. So it's going to be Warner's that's going to be going up and down here. Alistair Clark now tucked in behind Pratt again. And he's in the Audi. Pratt in the Porsche, of course. Into turn 1 they go. So they're going to make it through there without any problems. On the run now up into turn number 2. Which is the the Eintracht Parabolica, and then onto the Parabolica straight down into Spitzkær.
It's the best overtaking opportunity on the lap down here, the other side of this straight, down at the hairpin, turn 6. And Mr. Clark does have a bit of a misshapen front end to that Audi, doesn't he? But it just seems a little bit out of shape at the moment. Not sure who he's been into the back of, but he does have a little bit of damage. In towards the hairpin, bobbles over the curb, doesn't get anywhere there. Is it just me? It does look like it's got damage, doesn't it?
The Audi logo does look a little bit wonky.
Yeah, you can't have placed it like that, surely.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Maybe it is a little bit crumpled up here. Yeah, Knox just dropped out of the session as well, apparently. So unfortunately for Ian Knox, he's just dropped out of the session at the same time.
Yeah, that's a shame. Big shame for Ian Knox. Hopefully he can get back in. Same with Eric Orchin. Hopefully they can both get back in time for race number 2, because obviously they'd start at the very front of the field. The second race, as always in these events, second race is a full reverse grid. You don't have to be in the top whatever. You just have to be, in the session, to be honest, and you'll be in the reverse grid and with a good chance to win the race. And, that's at least 3 pro drivers now, or 3 Class 1 drivers, and a Group 2 driver who've got a great chance of winning their class now as a result of starting so far up the field.
Yeah, Mitchell's having a horrible race here. He's going to go in deep, I think, is he? Yeah, very slow. Very slow for Ben Mitchell there.
Almost looks like he's got, when you've got damage there and you're trying to correct the steering with your suspension, you've got to put extra lock into the very tight corners, like turn 6, the hairpin. And just wonder whether that's going on at the moment for Ben Mitchell. But anyway, Ian Knox is back out there on the circuit, and so Ben Mitchell's not even going to get any places for his for his efforts continuing on in this one.
No, but he will be on pole unless Eric Orchin all of a sudden gets power again, and maybe he'll be in there, but I don't know. Seeing how this one goes. Reece Bartlett, Parker Enquist, Werner leading Class 2, Garrett Kinney and behind Parker Enquist in third. Then you got Patero, Jan Jančić and Matt Warner. Patero is just about coming in now through the stadium into Sudkov shortly to start what will be, maybe not actually. This is going to be a really close final lap. It is the final lap. 140, he's gone over the line and he's doing 139 lap time. So he's just got to drop off a little bit.
Well, if he's been shown the white flag, then that will be it. iRacing has decided for him, even if he does a very quick, unbelievably quick last lap of the race. It doesn't matter. They will just end the race early since he's seen the white flag. But Tony Patero is going to be right in the game here as far as the championship lead is concerned. He'll gain 5 points on Warner here and reduces his gap from 8 to 3. George Metakos, unfortunately, is going to be thrown by the wayside in this one because Matt Warner has got up to 112. He can't actually be mathematically out of it, George Metakos. But unfortunately, when you think about it sort of oh dear, Parker Enquist is dropping about a bit. He's fine though, I think. Yeah, when you think about it, realistically, he's out of it. It's between Patero and Warner, and you'd have to say maybe this man is favourite right now. Yeah,
maybe. Sitting here in darkness, says Eric. He's got enough power to watch YouTube thing on his phone, I'm going to presume, Eric. I'm only playing. So there you go. And Jack Ashton's in YouTube. Jack, where have you been, dude? You did round one and you puffed like Harry Potter up a chimney. Never seen you again, sir. Where are you? So there we go. And he says gutting.
Yeah, well, it's shame for Eric Orchin, unfortunately. I guess mobile data is still possible, but anything else is off the table at the moment. Into the final corners then for Tony Patero. It's going to be another great victory in the Novice Racing League GT3 Championship from him. He wins race 1 here at the Hockenheim ring with time to spare. Over 10 seconds back to Jan Jančić, but he will not take the championship lead. That will stay with Matt Warner by only 3 points over Patero at the moment. In Class 2, Jerry Werner is going to really reduce the disadvantage that he held going into this one. He was 15 points behind Hayden Britton coming into this race, but because Britton is not here today, 15 points for Werner right here. He's going to put him absolutely level going into the final race. He's got one race to decide how much of a championship lead he's going to get based on how many points he's going to score in the second race. That's the best possible start for him this afternoon.
Yeah, great job from Jerry Werner. He's going to put him tied points now. So, as you said, he's got an opportunity to go and find out how many points he's going to put there as well. Jack, the reason I'm not hosting the championship, too busy. Real life, racing, etc. So, and there we go. On that one, Jack, we still got to get together for the podcast, mate. Let me know a date if you've got any Tuesdays during July that will work out. We'll get you on. Get you on the podcast. Hey, you got to do your little bit of advertising while you're here as well. You know what I mean? So give me a shout.
So specific, making me laugh. Just Tuesdays in July.
Yeah, but that's the only day I record them on because I don't do broadcasting Tuesdays. So Tuesday nights I've set aside for a bit the podcast nights. So so I do them on a Tuesday. So that's what I do to try and basically just fill a Tuesday night up and record a podcast with drivers and talk to them all about it. It's been awesome. There as well. Been trying to get Jack in, but it's a bit slow progress.
Tony Patero wins the first race of the day with Jan Jančić 10 seconds behind, and Matt Warner rounds out an all-European row top 3. Then it's Andrew Pratt and Alistair Clark who round out the top 5 with Jerry Werner who wins in Class 2. Garrett Kinney and Parker Enquist 7th and 8th with Reece Bartlett just off that podium. Jim Wybrow rounds out the top 5 in Class 2 with Steve Whitman outside the top 10 overall. Peter Ferrero had issues throughout that race, as did Ian Knox, Ben Mitchell and Nick Green, who will finish the lap down. It looks like Eric Orchin, unfortunately, is going to be out for today because he is had a power cut and so can't race with us this afternoon, it looks like. We're not going to go through the starting grid again because it is basically just that turned on its head, and indeed Eric Orchin isn't here, unfortunately. It is going to be Nick Green, as you predicted, on the pole, on the front row by himself. So, or maybe Ben Mitchell's going to join him on the...
they all move up. They should effectively all move up one.
Well, when you think about it, though, that effectively puts Nick Green in the second position.
Well, yeah, but I think Mitchell's going to rely on the fact that he is going to be the leader, effectively. So there you go on that one. Jack, put some dates in the YouTube chat for you, mate. Pick a date. Let's go. We'll set a time up as well. 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night. Pick one, Jack. I'm looking forward to get Jack on, actually. I mean, it'd be cool to have a chat with Jack and find out how it all started.
There you go. It's making me laugh that you're doing it on a broadcast. That was, even
Hey, listen, it's my podcast on my broadcast. I'm fine. I'm not breaking any advertising rules whatsoever.
No. You're not advertising any other. Yeah, that's true.
It's only a podcast.
So,
I don't know why Nick's booked in to do it as well. So, you know, there's quite a few of these guys actually on the waiting list.
Yeah. It's Matt Warner you mentioned early on. Anyway, let's get on with race number 2, shall we? Another 20 minutes. This time, reverse grid. 15 drivers ready to go. And Green has been effectively given the front row by himself. Mitchell hangs back. And, well, could have been a bit closer, more attentive, actually, because Green wasn't waiting round either. Knox takes that second place, then ahead of Ben Mitchell, then Peter Ferrero, who's got a decent chance at a race win here as well. Steve Whitman leads in Class 2 from 5th position overall, as further in the background, Matt Warner has a very good start. He's already passed Jerry Werner, who's down in 7th in Class 2. That's what his championship lead would be, just 2 points if it stays as it is. There goes Pratt. Oh, down the inside, and thankfully he backed out of it there. Warner, in the meantime, is up to 11th, and Clark goes for a spin in front of him. Another position for everybody.
Yeah, Clark's just gone round as well. Matt Warner up 4. Tommy Patero, 4 places back behind him, gained 2 as well. There's a side-by-side with Parker Enquist at the same time. I think it's one forward from that. It's Steve Whitman and Tim Wybrow. That was a bit of a stack up. That's all gone a little bit wrong. That's going to pull all of these cars back together, going into the right-hand and out. And at the moment, it's getting very congested in this midfield. Nick Green with a start of his life out in front. Whoa, Parker!
Warner, look at that. Matt Warner's having a flying start. 8th place for him now. Kinney and Werner have found themselves off, I think, down at turn 8, though. And so Werner's not having a very good race just when he needs it here at this stage in the championship. Warner's having a very good one, though. He's distancing Tommy Patero by a couple of positions, but most of the drivers he's made overtakes on so far have been Class 2 drivers, and there's no points available for that. But he does need to get through this traffic as best he can if he wants to finish on the podium here in race number 2 this afternoon and extend that 3-point championship lead to something just a little bit bigger. Through the final corners, he's so close behind Enquist here into the final turn now. That's Wybrow going off in front. They all roll, big crash, and they all crash in front of Matt Warner. All of the Class 2 drivers off in the front straight. Reece Bartlett now leads.
Wow! How did he miss that? What the blinking Nora went on here? Watch the BMW go absolutely full gravel, then slides, goes in front. Warner just scoots round the outside. Oh man, that was mighty. But we need to go back up front as well because Nick Green is under all sorts of pressure from Ian Knox.
Can he defend for 20 minutes here, Nick Green, to take a overall victory as a Class 2 driver? Ian Knox goes off the circuit, and that is surely going to be not allowed here. Green slows down on the exit, and Ben Mitchell comes through on the other side. He will get up into 2nd position here, ahead of Green. Then it's Ferrero, who's in the 4th position. But what was going on there? Why was Green so slow at the hairpin? And how did Ian Knox get through there off the circuit?
I don't really know at the moment, but they are running side by side with Mitchell here. No! Ferrero and Mitchell.
And that's going to give
Warner,
all of the championship contenders a position. Warner's up to 3rd. Patero's going to get all the places as well. They're going to be in contention for this race victory, maybe even in race 2.
Yeah, well, we did say we weren't going to count it out, and we definitely wasn't here. Patero now tucked in. Once again, he's just gone past Pratt. He's got Reece Bartlett to play with. Matt Warner is trying to go forward to Nick Green. 4.8 seconds. Patero's gone through there, and you can see Patero now leaves Pratt and Jan Janchik to try and have a battle with Mr. Bartlett as well. But behind them is Enquist, Ferrero and Kinney. Mitchell and Ferrero. Now, whether or not that was together, I think that's going to have to be looked at. Was there contact there from Ferrero or Mitchell? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
ran
he'll
him
be,
straight over.
Yeah, it'll be. Oh, Bartlett and Janczyk, meanwhile, side-to-side contact, and Janczyk goes through into sixth position. Yeah, I mean, he'll be questioning Ferrero why Mitchell was so slow on the apex, and to be honest, I don't know the answer to that either. But either way, it's a spin for both of them, and they drop to the back end of the field. Further in the background, Ferrero is trying to regain those places, and here he comes down the inside of Parker Enquist. Janczyk comes down the inside of Pratt as well into the hairpin. Oh, that's going to be short-lived. Pratt's going to get the exit and a good run here, but it's all happening in race number 2. Race 1 was quite quiet compared to this. It's exactly what you expect from the Hockenheim ring, but this has been very, very lively so far in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, it definitely has here, and I think this is just going to keep going. I think the way that they're going to be able to handle this, they're just going to keep battling. Patero and Green, I think Green's just made a mistake for himself. Unfortunately, did Green. He managed to hold on to the lead in the Class 2s, but I don't think doing this continuously is going to help him. So he needs to make sure he can stay there, because I can tell you one thing, Bartlett is now not behind, and he's bringing Enquist and Werner almost along with him.
Joe Werner is up to 4th position in class, so that is 8 points, and therefore an 8-point championship lead going into the final round of the season. In Class 1, Warner's gaining 2 on Patero, so that'll be a 5-point championship lead going into the final race of the season. But if Patero can double up in next week's round, then he'd be able to overtake Warner no matter where Matt Warner finishes. It's going to be super close between these two at the very end of this season, that is for sure. But Warner's got a big job to even hold off Patero for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be a mission here, but I think from Patero's point of view, he's going to go at him, and I think from Warner's point of view, he's going to learn how to defend. I can tell you that much here once again. So we'll keep an eye out and see what Warner could do with Patero. Janczyk tucked in behind Green. It's not your fight, Nick. It really isn't your fight. You're leading the Class 2s. There's no need to be putting this all along here, but he is anyway.
And Janczyk didn't get a good enough run there to get past the Porsche on the way down towards turn 7 or turn 8. So Janczyk is he's going to have to find another way through, wait for another opportunity here to get through into the 4th position. Pratt next involved in 6th. Oh, that's off for Nick Green. And Janczyk is going to be on the inside. No, he's not close enough again. This is only going to increase the length of this train. Pratt's next in line, then Ferrero, then Bartlett, then Enquist. They're all in line here, queuing up behind Nick Green, and that's why you said it's not his fight. If Green just lets these Class 1s through, then Class 2 drivers have got less chance of catching you up. But anyway, he's creating a right train right now for that lead in the Class 2 competition.
Yeah, the problem is Bartlett's just there. Bartlett's just come around the corner. He's not a million miles away from Nick Green here. One mistake, and it's going to cost Nick. He's got to think about this logically with 12 minutes to go, that he can't just let Janczyk go, and if he's going to be faster than Andrew Pratt, stay in front of him. But I think at the moment he needs to be a little bit careful. Jerry Werner and Alistair Clark have just swapped places. Werner's 4th in class at the moment. They're trying to catch 2.7 seconds to Parker, who has just gone running down the parabolica. You should just about to see him Spider-Man car in ahead of us at this moment in time. But yeah, for Jerry Werner, he needs to get on to Parker, and there he is there.
He's got to maybe use Clark to help him. Let's see as they come down towards the hairpin. And out the other side, Werner's definitely got some damage on the front end there, hasn't he? That Porsche is a bit crumpled, not that we can see it very well, but when it's right behind the Audi there, but especially side on, it looks it looks a lot shorter than it should be. So there's really been some trouble there for Werner. Garrett Kinney next involved as well, so it's actually behind him that Jerry Werner's going to end up looking here in defence of this position rather than looking forward.
Yeah, needs to let him go and use the slipstream. I agree. You're not wrong there, KNH. He's got to, I think from Nick Green's point of view, that's what I would be doing, letting him go. Because for Nick here, he's just bringing the cars in behind. Bartlett's still there, but he's got a little bit further back. But at the moment for Bartlett, if he stays in close to this one, he's not going to be a million miles away if Nick Green makes a mistake. And Janczyk too wide in turn 1. Oh, Janczyk's going to tuck underneath him.
He's surely going to get past on the next straight. Here he goes, inside line. And Jan Jančić is going to be through on Nick Green. Oh, then it's going to be Pratt, but that was really close to contact. Now out of turn number 4. Pratt is surely going to get past on the way to the hairpin. Ferrero queuing up as well. Nick Green is seeing one go through. Surely the others are now going to follow in towards the hairpin. Pratt has a look down the inside. He was waiting for that. He's gone too late on the brakes, so he's going to hit Jančić if he's not careful. Oh, he's going to stop. Oh, great bit of undercut there from Jančić, but Nick Green's hit by Ferrero as there was a real stack up in front. Ferrero lets him get back in front again here, but then goes and overtakes him immediately afterwards as well. This is, again, why it's not Nick Green's fight to have here in Class 2. He's entitled to stay here overall, but it doesn't gain anything for him. And he's in danger of losing his class lead battling with these guys at the moment.
Yeah, and we've all sat here and said he shouldn't be doing it, but he is anyway. He shouldn't be doing it, but he is anyway. Bartlett is now only 1 car behind Nick Green, and that is reasons why you don't get yourselves involved. However, Warner and Patero, 2 championship leaders at the moment, are very much involved with each other.
Absolutely are. This is, out of the final corner. And Warner got a bit of a slide there. Tommy Patero immediately alongside, but he's not going to make it through on the inside line there. Massive wallop over the curb there for Patero. And Warner is going to have to hold on to this position somehow. Down in towards turn 2. He's still in front, but this is a long time to defend for.
It is. I'm not quite sure how he's going to work this. He's got to basically just hug every inside line he can. You give Patero a sniff here. Warner's got to drift it over to the right. He cannot afford to leave that door wide open. I'm not quite sure why that would even be on the cards here and why you would think about doing that. Warner's trying to get the power down and run it around the outside, but I thought he would have been a little bit more defensive on the split scare there and now loses that position. That was just, don't leave the door wide open.
At the moment, the gap will be down to 1 point for Warner, but he would still keep the championship lead. Patero defends in towards turn 8, and Warner can't get past. Now the question is going to be, can Matt Warner stay with Tommy Patero and have another go next lap at re-overtaking? But based on what we've seen so far, that is a bit unlikely.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why he didn't defend that. I really am a little bit confused on that one from Matt Warner. He should have given it more of a defense and at least try to put up a fight, take the inside into split scare or force him round, do something. Just to do nothing seems a bit crazy, but he needs to now just basically get this Mustang controlled. And already you can see Patero open up a gap in one corner from about 2.5 tenths there. And now Patero's half a second up the road. I'm not quite sure what Warner's going to do. If they stay where they are and bar the lead, if Knox, as long as Knox doesn't have any issues, 121 Patero going into the final round, 122 for Warner. So it's going to be a Warner-Patero fight going into the final round here.
Yep. Patero just spent a couple of off tracks there to get a bit further away as well here, by the way. Pretty smart. Just to spend a couple of those trying to get ahead, because as you can see here on this straight now, Warner's just not close enough here to overtake Patero, and that might well be a theme of the rest of the race. Here comes Jay Werner in the meantime, passing Parker Enquist. Clark gets past Bartlett as well, who's not got a very good run onto the next straight, and so Werner could go from 4th to 2nd here on just 1 lap. He's gaining very quickly on Bartlett, but he won't be there quick enough. Will Enquist be there quick enough here in towards the hairpin maybe for a move in towards turn 6? No. And so Werner is up into 3rd place now with a 10-point championship lead provisionally. In a big battle here, though.
Yeah, he had a big old slide coming out of the corner as well for that Porsche. Did Jerry Werner. Reese Bartlett in front of him. We've got Nick Green not far down the road currently, so they can probably see Nick, and they've got to try and chase him through. But at the moment, Werner's just tucked in there, uses an off track there. That's definitely going to be one. Comes back onto the race circuit, and at the moment sitting 3rd in class. He's putting what's at the moment 10 points over Hayden Britton going into the final round.
He very nearly rear-ended Bartlett completely there, did Jay Werner, and that was not ideal. In towards the final corners now, and that's a spin for Bartlett. Reach Bartlett spins. Oh, and Ben Mitchell had to avoid him there very late on in the day. I think he just about managed it, but Bartlett goes for a spin through the penultimate corner, like we've seen from every manufacturer and most of the drivers. Oh, and Mitchell only just avoids.
Yeah, did there as well. And the weirdest thing is not even just Porsches. We've seen a kind of everything go round at that corner. It's just been absolutely bonkers why that corner's caused so many problems, but it has. But that's put Werner into second. 12-point lead going into the final round over Hayden Brennan. So it's going to be down on Hayden next week to see if he's back, of course. I'm going to presume, hopefully, I did see him in YouTube chat. I've got FOMO, so sat here not racing. What is FOMO?
Fear of missing out.
Oh, okay. So he's sat here watching instead. I hope you're sunning yourself on the pool side or something, mate, while you're doing that.
I'd imagine it's probably sunny.
I should hope so.
You don't want to go all that way and find it's raining. That's for sure. This is Nick Green, still leading in Class 2, and it looks like he is going to win here as well, but there's been some very nervy moments for him over the course of this one. 5 minutes to go. Peter Ferraro is still behind him, and he's got him miles off the circuit there into the gravel, trying to hold off Clark here, actually, Alistair Clark. So it looks like it's going to be 6th place in Class 1 for Ferraro, but I've got to say I was expecting him to maybe get on the podium in this second race of the day, the reverse grid, since he started so advanced through the field.
Yeah, but he had some dramas, remember, and unfortunately he went off. Him and Ben Mitchell had to come in together. So for him to be able to stay in front would have been probably best not to have that little bit of drama. But unfortunately for him, he did, as he's chasing down Nick Green. Ben Mitchell's trying to come through on Parker Enquist. They're just going round into turn 1, and through they go. Does he? He does go through, but I will say one thing, that Lamborghini has not been comfortable here.
No, and Mitchell has struggled here today. He'll be down the inside of Enquist now and should be through. Oh, he's not quite clear yet. Enquist fighting back as well. I mean, normally you'd say there's no point in this, but also there's almost no point not doing this either, because there's no positions to be gained or lost really for these two now. They are likely to finish in these positions, down in towards the hairpin. And Mitchell comes straight back down the inside again on Parker Enquist. Very tight line, and he will be through. Just about there will Ben Mitchell. That was fairly well drawn out, but into the top 10 finally for Ben Mitchell, who may well be looking forward to forgetting this round.
Yeah, I think Mitchell's had a horrible round, to be blatantly honest with you, and I don't think it's something he's going to be comfortable with. Peter Ferraro and Nick Green, however, still. Oh, wow. Steady. Oh. Wow, that Acura definitely had a moment on the gravel.
That was kind of all over the place there. But we saw that last lap from Ferraro in towards the penultimate corner. Careful through here. I think everybody has been so far. I mean, Ferraro's already been bitten by it, don't forget, in race 1 when he had a spin through that penultimate turn. Oh, off through turn 10 there for Steve Whitman, who was very extended period off the circuit. Green defends a little bit here, but let's see what happened here to the McLaren of Steve Whitman, who was right behind the Porsche before this happened. Oh, up over the inside curb and spins to the inside. Don't see that very often.
Definitely not. Very bizarre. There's been some very bizarre moments here, to be blatantly honest with you, but if I was Nick Green now, I would not be fighting this. Especially when Werner is literally there in the background.
3.5 seconds with a lap to go at the end of this one. Very tight turning circle for them, and Green holds on to the place. Ferraro had to go off the circuit to make the corner even, and so Green holds on to 6th again, but he is inviting Werner here a little bit. But on the other hand, he's keeping a nice buffer between himself and Werner if he's keeping these two Class 1 drivers in between them. Yeah,
I just find it's nuts that he would basically be putting these guys in.
Whoa! Ferraro.
And that's why it's nuts.
Well, Werner will get through now on Ferraro. Oh, will he? Oh, no, he won't. Werner's off the road, and that's fairly big for the championship. It's a good job for him that Enquist is quite a long way back, but let's see if Werner loses that place. Ferraro here was on the inside line with Werner, and he's not made the corner there at all. because he's on the wrong line. His reference points are all out of shape. And Werner has to come back onto the circuit, brings a load of gravel on as per. Here comes Enquist. Does he get through on the inside line? He has a look, but he doesn't go for the move. And Werner's got away with one there, but he's under pressure for this last lap.
Yeah, final lap of the race here. Knox is on his way around Spitzker. I'm not quite sure what Ferrero. It just looks like he missed his brake before he went straight on. Unfortunately, Jerry is caught on the inside and the outside of him. But he's now got Enquist coming in. He's going to go into the final race of the season with 12 points over Hayden Britton. So Hayden's got to try and come back and hope for a miracle, to be blatantly honest with you. But at the moment, we'll see how Jerry gets on and to make sure he does actually stay there. Ian Knox on the run at the moment, coming into the stadium.
It's been a good second race for Ian Knox. Thankfully, he's stayed connected this time round. And he's going to take full advantage as well into the final hairpin for the final time rather, and Werner does keep 9th place for now over Enquist. We'll see if he does, and that will give him a 12-point championship lead going into the last race. But Ian Knox is going to win overall. Seconds tick by, and this time in the Lamborghini, Ian Knox is going to take victory. Checkered flag is now waving, and it is going to be Ian Knox who comes over the line and takes the victory. We're not going to see him, but 4.5 seconds behind. There he is, Ian Knox. Takes the win. In the background, Toy Patero reduces his deficit in the championship to just 1 point with Matt Warner in behind. And in the second class, it is Nick Green who hangs on to the win after a good drive all day long, defending from everybody. He holds on to 6th place overall, and he takes the win in class. In the background, Clark comes over the line, but further in the background, Werner does keep the position over Enquist as long as he makes it through these final 2 corners. And he does. He will have a 12-point championship lead going into the final 2 races of the season, which means 2 podiums, and he will have won the championship.
Absolutely. And that's all because Hayden went on holiday.
Yep, certainly is. Didn't score any points today, obviously. Steve Whitman's continued to have trouble here.
And he goes. Been a very bizarre. Don't you find today, though, there's been a lot of people off in unusual places?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting so many through the penultimate corner, to be honest.
No, it seems weird that all of a sudden's poked his head up, and it's just caused a problem for people. It's very bizarre, but there we go.
Bit of a puzzler, that one, but either way, that's the second race, and it is Ian Knox who has taken the victory. 4.6 seconds over Tommy Patero, with Matt Warner also on the podium. Jan Janchik and Andrew Pratt round out the top 5, with Nick Green winning in Class 2. Alistair Clark and Ben Mitchell were between Green and the second place battle in that class. Jerry Werner keeping that position ahead of Parker Enquist. Outside the top 10 for Garrett Kinney in the end, top 5 for Rhys Bartlett. Steve Whitman and Tim Wyborough got to the end on the lead lap. Peter Ferreira retired late on. Eric Orchin unfortunately couldn't start the second race. So that is it for the Novice Racer GT3 Championship penultimate round here from the Hockenheim rink. We've set up a great Class 1 Championship fight between Warner and Patero, that's for sure. Just 1 point between them. Hayden Britton with a lot of work to do going into next week's race as well, the final round of the season.
Yeah, there is. It's going to be exciting because I think I've got it 1-2-1, 1-2-2 for Patero and Warner. We already know that Britain is on 96 with Jerry Werner 12 points ahead on that. So Werner's on 108. So it's still open in both classes, which I find absolutely amazing going into the final round. I do love a good championship fight coming down into the final round. And at the moment, Warner, Patero, Britain and Werner, they're going to go to battle next week.
They certainly are. We will look forward to it. We'll be back same time, same place on the JPB channel for that, of course. The final race of the Novice Racing League GT3 Championship from Interlagos, as all championships should end. That will be coming your way in 7 days' time. Big thanks for tuning in this afternoon. I've been Ewan O'Leary alongside James Parfitt. Until we see you for that final round in Interlagos, it's goodbye for now.
Thank you.